Hi and welcome to the Science Fantasy Experience. When I was 12 years old, I first set foot in a games workshop and my mind was blown. I couldn't believe such a place existed. My eyes did not know where to look. Wall to wall of blister packs of every miniature ever. All the factions, all the Xenos, Space Orcs, Space Marines, Tyranids, Gretchins, Snotlings. Then there was just boxes of battle wagons, Land Raiders, Predators. It's just thinking about it just gets me super excited about Warhammer. There was a glass cabinet with beautiful pieces that, you know, the guys that worked there and whoever were displaying and even selling those pieces. And it was just, as a 12-year-old, it was just ridiculously insane to me. I have incredibly fond memories of Warhammer 40k, both as a child and as an adult. I remember it so well. It was half term, it was like the first Saturday of half term, and I didn't go in there on my own. I went with, you know, my two best friends at the time. I'd saved up all my pocket money, mowed extra lawns for my dad, washed cars in the street to have a certain amount of money to just completely let loose in there. And I came away with the Imperial Space Marines starter set, and also did my two other friends. I also went away with 2 paintbrushes and a few pots of Citadel paints. And it was an incredible day. I remember waking up, we'd made this plan to get on the bus to go to town. It was one of the first times, you know, I was allowed to go to the town centre unsupervised. You know, there was 3 of us, it was fine, and we got up, we got the 9:15 train, the 5:10. We had all our money and we were going there no matter what. And then we just discussed what we were going to do on the journey back. I had in my mind that I was going to be the Ultramarines. My friend was going to be Blood Angels, and my other friend was going to be the Salamanders. Thinking back about it though, you know, just the Ultramarines were in some ways like, it's the cliche of choosing that one. They were like the poster child. Yeah, the Iron Fists were on the box, and you know, in some ways that was still coming back from it being just Rogue Trader at first. But yeah, I was desperate to be Ultramarines. I do have a kind of, it's not a regret, but you know, there's something about the Blood Angels for sure. But I was all in Ultramarines. And then a few years later, they released an Ultramarines Codex, and that front cover has been imprinted on my mind since I was 12. It's just an iconic image to me. It's 2nd edition, you know, it's 93, I think, when that was released, and that was the faction that I played. That half term, that first Saturday, we got them, we chatted about what we were going to do, we spent the next day putting them together and in some ways speed painting them just to get them up and running, because we were going to spend all week playing. You know, the box came with 30 miniatures, so many sprues, and then so many choices of what weapons to put on there, and that's what we did for that half term. Played Warhammer 40k. it's a really powerful memory, and along with the image of that codex, I just had to get the McFarlane Toys Primaris Intercessor. When I saw that these were released last year, I could not believe that they were going to make an action figure, a 7-inch action figure of a somewhat tiny miniature. And here it is. I'm aghast. Like, I just didn't think this would be something I would be able to get in my collection. Let's have a look at the box first. So it comes in a full window. You know, a lot of toys over the past few years, there tends to be an image here, especially with like Fortnite and Power Rangers Lightning Collection. Half of the figure is actually hidden, but with this you've got a full window, so you can see that you get the heavy bolt pistol and the chainsword and his booster pack, and then you've got some toy photography, the beautifully lit of the toy, some standard mechanized Warhammer 40k imagery, and then you've got his wave mate, which is the Necron, and then you've got the actual toy itself. This image though, it looks super shiny. It looks like it's been covered in lacquer, and the heavy bolt pistol looks silver, but when you see it up close, it's done in matte colours, and the bolt pistol is way more gunmetal grey. But I'm super happy that I wanted it in a matte colour. Let me free him from the plastic prison and we'll take a proper look. The Ultramarines Primaris Assault Intercessor out of the box. And oh my god, is he heavy. He is an absolute chunk. I can't believe like how robust and just the pure weight there is to this figure. It's incredible. But the wait has been so worth it. You know, I think they were released in October, or they were hitting the shops in November, but yeah, the wait was absolutely worth it because I think it is phenomenal. Maybe I'm biased because I'm a huge Warhammer fan, but in terms of just being an action figure, it's great. I have other McFarlane toys. I have Fortnite and Batman Multiverse figures, so I kind of know what to expect when it comes to McFarlane, but it just oozes second edition Warhammer 40k for me. The detail on all the paint is incredibly crisp. There is no way I could ever paint those lines on a miniature. You know, that's why I chose to play Orcs when I returned back to Warhammer 40k 3-4 years ago, because, you know, they're all wonky and grimy and grubby, so you don't really have to worry too much about clean lines with Orcs. So the craftsmanship and the paint application for the Primaris Intercessor it's second to none. The checkerboards, the insignia, even the green accent on his eyes, just the little silver details. And considering he is quite a bulky, you know, suit of armour, there's still a ton of articulation. You're not hindered too much by those big shoulder pads, and then you've got your standard articulation when it comes to elbow joints, knee bends. You've got clickety, click clicks, so you can get it into a whole host of different positions. Also comes with a stand, which is, it's always good to have a stand with an action figure, but because he's got such a wide stance and some heft to him, he really doesn't need it at all. They do an artist proof, so you can get him in grey, so then you can prime him yourself, and then you can do it in any faction you want. And then there's little details left on this one to adapt. You can paint the pouches in brown, you can add extra black bits to his gloves. You could do all manner, you could put washes, you could airbrush, you could paint chip, but because I'm such a fan of just, you know, the action figure, it's the perfect blend for me. I don't want to customize it at all. I want it to be an action figure and a toy, because I already have Warhammer miniatures and I enjoy the painting aspect of it, but to have it as a toy, I'm absolutely winning. As I said, it just beautifully represents second edition to me perfectly. I know they didn't have Primaris back in the day, but I absolutely adore it. It was, you know, in some ways a long time coming, and I wish in some ways they'd done it sooner, but we're well onto the road with these figures. You know, on the back of the box there was the Necron. Last month or a month before, they previewed kind of what was in the next wave, which we've got a Blood Angel and a Gold Edition, and you've also got the Sisters of Battle. I think if these two waves do well, we could well be on the way for Orcs Eldar. I alluded to at the start of the video that the back of the packaging looks slightly different, and for sure it is. If you take a look at the heavy bolt pistol, it is all done in that gunmetal grey, and the chainsword is done in black gunmetal grey, and then you've got the gold hilt. Customizing for sure, you could easily paint onto those guns. They are rubbery plastic though, so they're probably going to take a bit of priming, but you know, there is all end of possibilities to be had. And then if you go in for some more of the finer details, the cross and the skull, it's so beautifully moulded in, and the chest wings, grooves in the helmet. I'm really pleased with how this has turned out, and it's a wonderful addition to my collection. I like to get toys, as a lot of you know, that have a personal connection to me, and this is now just an absolute standout piece, and I cannot wait to have him displayed. And he's going to be something that I can pick off the shelf and play with and have a fiddle around with, because as I mentioned before, he's so robust. He's an exceptional piece. If you're into action figures, he's a good buy. If you're into Warhammer, he's an absolute must. I cannot recommend him more. To give you an idea of scale, here he is with Black Series Rebel Trooper, another Space Army. So as you can see, absolutely towers over the Black Series. And then here we have a Fortnite figure. So yeah, same company, McFarlane Toys. You're looking at the same sort of height, but obviously there is so much kind of girth to the Primaris But yeah, I cannot fault McFarlane Toys. No QC issues at all. It's good that the weapons are that rubbery plastic, because they can easily fit into the hands without too much manipulation or having to heat them up. Yeah, he's a big mama jamma. I've been Rudy Sasu, and always remember, in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. Thanks for watching.